It's October 21st, 2015, the day that Doc Brown and Marty McFly go to the future. The future has arrived, and here in Vancouver, we're going to see how Vancouverites celebrate the iconic date. First stop, a screening at a makeshift Cafe 80s in Kitsilano.
Hi, Doc. What's going on, huh? Where are we? When are we?
We're descending toward Hill Valley, California on Wednesday, October 21st, 2015.
2015?
It's super cool that when art and life come together like that, and I think if anybody that's a fan of the trilogy, on some level, you've kind of been wondering about October 21st, 2015, and here it is, so we can sort of compare the vision of 1980s future to the reality of 2015. The thing that's so funny about Back to the Future, looking back on the whole trilogy, is when you think about 1985, and then they go back to 1955, it feels like they're going to 10 decades ago. It feels like a whole other world. The difference between 55 and 85 seems much greater to me than 85 and 2015. Storyline of Goldie for mayor, and he's like, I'll be mayor. And then here you are, you think in 2015, America's just, there's a black president. I mean, like those kinds of things, I think, are part of the reason why people cling to Back to the Future, is because it got so many little things right, and it was able to comment in 1985 on so many of the changes that had happened in a funny, reverential way. So we're screening Back in Time, which is a documentary about the film and about people that love the film and the impact of the film, on October 26th, which is the day that Marty travels back to 1955.
It really is, for me, and arguably the greatest time travel movie ever put on film.
If we would have done something different at one moment, would it have changed our whole lives for the better?
I think it's the best thing that I've ever written. I mean, along with Bob, of course.
Zemeckis and Gale really found lightning in a bottle.
You probably have one of those in you in a lifetime.
Lightning in a bottle tends to stick around for a long time.
Yeah, so the local connection for me is really Michael J. Fox. He's a guy that's always inspired me, and he's a guy that's from Burnaby. And so, for myself, when I got the idea of approaching the director, when I first saw the Kickstarter come out for Back in Time, I really just wanted to say thank you so much for making a film that's talking about the 30 years later of the impact that it's having on not just people like myself, but everyone else in the world. I actually kind of connected a little bit with George McFly. He's a guy that was an outcast. He had big dreams. He had big goals of being this person that no one else thought that he could be. People were inspired by the message of you're in control of your own destiny. And once you hear that as a young kid, even as an adult, you really think to yourself, wow, this is something that I could do myself. And that's actually what got me inspired about quantum physics, science, all these things. Something that seems so trivial to other people made a huge impact on my life, and it continues to make impacts on people's lives everywhere.
So here we are, October 21st, 2015. Where did you think you'd be at this time when you first saw the film years ago?
Well, when I saw part two, honestly, I thought, hey, I want one of those hoverboards, and also flying cars. I don't see any flying cars here. Do you guys?
I thought we'd be on flying cars by now.
No, not really, no.
You know what? It seemed possible. It seemed possible when you were watching the movie.
A bit disappointed, honestly.
Really?
Yeah.
Do tell.
I expected a lot of more futuristic stuff.
Yeah.
Jetpacks and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
When you see older 80s movies or 90s movies that they show futuristic stuff in those movies, we're still way behind that time.
I saw it for the first time in the early 90s, and I'm kind of sad we don't have the skateboard thing, but we'll get there.
What do you think is the most accurate prediction that Back to the Future made?
So far, I guess it has to be the Cubs. I mean, the style, I'm really glad that it's not there.
So there you have it. Lots of Vancouver connections to Back to the Future and Back to the Future Day, October 21st, 2015. Soak it up. The future is here.